In the last class, I already mentioned one point out of issuing and reversing engagement letter. I did said that the letter should be issued to any new clients before the audit work begins. The letter should be reviewed every year to ensure that it is up to date. B. Whenever there is a change of circumstances, e.g., extra duties, new auditing guidelines, close the bracket, or change in the nature of service provided or other terms and conditions, a letter of engagement must be issued to an existing client. That is when the client business, probably the business has changed from what it was last year, all this is, you need to issue another letter to state the extent to which you will go. C. The following specified factors may necessitate the arrangement of a letter of engagement. 1. An indication that the client understands the objective and scope of the audit. 2. A recent change of management, board of directors, or audit committee. 3. A significant change in ownership, such as a new holding company. When probably there is a change of ownership, either maybe merger and acquisition take place, all those things will bring about the agreement of the new to issue a new letter. 4. Any relevant change in the nature and size of the client business. And 5. Any relevant change in legal or professional requirements. All these things will necessitate to write a new letter to an existing client that you are already being the auditor. Because if all things change, you don't just remain on what you was the first of engagement you issue. Things as you change as things change per day. D. Any particular year where the issue of a new letter is deemed necessary, it may be appropriate for the auditors to remind the client of the original letter. E. The letter is addressed to the board of directors or audit committee of the client company. Now, there is letter of engagement. We know as normal, you have your firm. That's example. You have your firm, name of your firm, your address, then the board of directors of the company where you want to audit. Then there could be introductions to the letter, go to responsibility of the directors, responsibility of the auditor. All these things should be stated in the letter, and the scope and the basis of the audit should be stated. Other services that should be engaged by the auditors also should be indicated in that letter, and applicable laws, the laws that are applicable to that business or to the particular country where you are auditing. And those are the things what it takes in the letter of engagement. Now we're going to look at auditors' liability and legal responsibility. Auditors' liability and legal responsibility. Auditors may be liable for professional negligence. In recent years, this has become an issue of great concern to auditors. Some audit firms have resorted to taking professional indemnity, using insurance to safeguard their business, which in no certain terms does not solve the problem. Because so many times there are issues that have come that makes auditors to things that could have stains the name of the audit firm, things that could make the audit firm to be at risk or probably almost their license being withdrawn, because there could be some things they was not clearly to them before they go into business. So that is why most of the audit firms now are taking provisional indemnity to be able to, should in case there are any liability beyond them, the insurance company will take care of that. Auditors can also be liable under statutes and can face penalty under the criminal law for deception and reckless negligence. It is also not uncommon for auditors to be held liable under civil law for damages. Full stop. What is more, or more, comma, auditors by nature of their contractual relationship with their clients face potential liability under law of contracts. A client may bring an action under contract law to enforce auditors' responsibility for loss with which has occurred through the failure of the auditors to carry out their duties imposed by the contract with the client. Furthermore, an auditor may be held liable under the law of tort for duty of care, especially where the third party is involved. With that is, auditors, before taking any job, that's why I say before taking any audit work, you must have done the preliminary examinations to be sure that you are dealing with the right client and you actually understand and have full knowledge about the client business. Because if not so, you'll be charged for negligence. If you see things and things you're supposed to see and you're overlooking and becomes an issue, you'll be charged for negligence, or to be charged for tort for duty of care, because you owes your clients a duty of care. Liability under status. Civil liability. Auditors may be liable for financial damage in respect of civil offense of misfinance and breach of trust. This normally happens when the auditors have misused their position of authority for personal gain. Then criminal liability. And auditors who make a misleading statement or a forceful record or falsified record with the intent of deceiving may face criminal liability. Then liability under contract law. When auditors accept appointments, they enter into a contract which impose certain obligations on them. These obligations arise from the term of contract, both express and implied, of contract impart on auditor. In the case of a statutory audit, the company law, e.g., Company Allied Matter Acts and company codes prescribe the auditor's duty, responsibility, and rights, and the spread terms of the audit contract cannot override the statutory provision. That when it's under the law, you must follow what Kama said in carrying out the audit. The implied terms which the law will input into an auditor's contract as follows. The auditor have a duty to exercise reasonable care. The auditors have a duty to carry out the work required with reasonable expediencies. 3. The auditors have a right to reasonable remuneration. That is, once is paid, the right remuneration. And based on these, we are going to end today's class. Hope to see you in the next class.